You are getting ripped off every time you take your GMC truck to the shop. And the worst part is you have no idea it is happening. Mechanics make money when you do not know how to maintain your own truck. They make money when you think certain jobs are complicated. And they make a lot of money when you believe that only a certified technician can perform basic maintenance that you could do yourself in your driveway with $20 worth of tools. According to industry data, the average vehicle owner spends over $1,200 annually on maintenance and repairs, and a significant portion of that is for work they could easily do themselves. Today, I am going to show you 17 hidden GMC tricks that mechanics will never tell you about. Some of these will save you hundreds of dollars per year. Others will prevent catastrophic failures that could cost you thousands. And if you stick around until number 1, I am going to show you the single most important maintenance trick that can silently destroy your engine if you ignore it. Let's get into it. Number 17. Resetting the oil life monitor. Every time you get an oil change, the shop resets your oil life monitor and acts like it is some complicated procedure. It is not. According to your GMC owner's manual, you can reset it yourself in about 10 seconds using your dashboard controls. For most GMC trucks, turn the ignition to the on position without starting the engine. Press the accelerator pedal to the floor 3 times within 5 seconds. The oil life percentage should reset to 100%. On newer models with digital displays, go into the Vehicle Settings menu, find the Oil Life Monitor, and select Reset. This procedure is documented in every GMC owner's manual, but shops will never mention it because they want you dependent on them. The oil life monitoring system uses a GM-designed algorithm that calculates oil degradation based on engine revolutions, temperature, and operating conditions. Resetting it properly ensures you get accurate reminders for your next oil change. Over the life of your truck, learning this simple reset can save you $200 to $300 in unnecessary service fees. But if you think that is simple, wait until you see number 16. Number 16. Hidden cabin air filter replacement. Most GMC owners do not even know their truck has a cabin air filter, and mechanics love it. They will charge you $80 to $120 to replace a filter that costs $15 and takes 5 minutes to change. According to automotive service data, cabin air filter replacement is one of the highest markup services at dealerships. Open your glove box and remove everything inside. Squeeze the sides inward or push the stops, and the glove box will drop down, revealing the cabin air filter housing. Pull out the old filter, slide in the new one, and snap the glove box back into place. The procedure is detailed in your owner's manual, and it requires 0 tools. A clogged filter forces your blower motor to work harder, which can cause it to burn out prematurely. According to HVAC specialists, replacing a blower motor costs $300 to $500, while replacing the filter yourself costs $15 and 5 minutes. Over 10 years, doing this yourself saves $1,000 to $1,500 in labor charges. And the next one is just as easy but saves you even more. Number 15. Battery terminal cleaning trick. Corroded battery terminals cause all kinds of electrical problems in GMC trucks. Dim headlights, slow cranking, and flickering dashboard lights are often blamed on a failing battery or alternator. According to automotive electrical diagnostics data, corrosion is responsible for over 30% of battery-related service calls. Mechanics will charge you $100 to $200 for diagnostics and then sell you a new battery for $150 to $250. In most cases, the problem is just corrosion on the terminals. Mix baking soda and water into a paste. Disconnect the battery terminals. Negative first, then positive. Apply the paste to the corroded areas and let it fizz for a few minutes. The baking soda neutralizes the acid corrosion. Scrub the terminals with a wire brush, rinse with water, dry everything off, and reconnect the terminals. Apply a thin layer of petroleum jelly or dielectric grease to prevent future corrosion. Battery maintenance is covered in the GM service manual as a routine inspection item. Check your battery terminals every few months and clean them at the first sign of corrosion. It takes 5 minutes and prevents hundreds in unnecessary repairs. And if you think corroded terminals are bad, wait until you hear about number 14. Number 14. Hidden fuse box. Reset for electronics infotainment glitches, malfunctioning displays, and unresponsive controls are common in GMC trucks, especially in newer models with complex electronics. Dealers will charge you $150 to $300 for diagnostics, and often tell you that you need a software update or a module replacement costing $500 or more. According to GM service bulletins, many electronic issues can be resolved with a simple module reset. Locate your fuse box, usually under the hood or under the dashboard on the driver's side. Find the fuse labeled for the infotainment system or body control module. Pull the fuse using needle nose pliers, wait 30 seconds, and reinstall it. This forces the system to reboot and often clears the glitch. This reset procedure is documented in GM technical service bulletins for addressing common electronic faults. Before you pay for electronics diagnostics, try pulling the relevant fuse and resetting the system. Modern GMC trucks are essentially computers on wheels, and like any computer, they occasionally need a hard reset. This trick costs nothing and takes 2 minutes, but the next one can save you from an expensive tow. Number 13. Hidden spare tire. Lock-release GMC trucks store the spare tire underneath the bed, and it is locked in place with a cable system. If you lose the key or the mechanism fails, most owners panic and call a tow truck. Roadside assistance services will charge you $100 to $200 to access the spare, but your owner's manual includes instructions for a hidden release slot that lets you lower the tire yourself in about 2 minutes. Look under the rear bumper near the license plate. You will see a small rectangular slot or keyhole. Insert the spare tire tool, which is usually stored behind the rear seat. Turn the tool counterclockwise and the spare tire will lower to the ground. If the lock is seized or stuck, spray penetrating oil into the mechanism and let it sit for a few minutes. According to AAA data, improper spare tire access is one of the most common reasons for unnecessary roadside assistance calls. Know where your spare tire release is, keep the tool in your truck, and you will never pay for help accessing your own spare. And if you think being stranded is frustrating, the next trick prevents an even more expensive problem. Number 12. Cleaning the throttle body regularly. Carbon buildup on your throttle body causes rough idling, poor acceleration, and reduced fuel economy. Mechanics will diagnose this as a failing throttle position sensor and charge you $300 to $600 for parts and labor. According to automotive service data, throttle body cleaning is recommended every 30,000 to 50,000 miles, yet most owners never do it. Buy a can of throttle body cleaner from any auto parts store. Locate your throttle body between the air filter and the engine. Remove the air intake tube to expose the throttle plate. Spray the cleaner directly onto the throttle plate and the surrounding bore. Wipe away the carbon deposits with a clean rag, reinstall the air intake, and you are done. The carbon comes from oil vapor in the PCV system and incomplete fuel combustion. A dirty throttle body can trigger check engine lights for lean or rich fuel mixture codes, leading to expensive misdiagnoses. Clean your throttle body every 30,000 miles, and you will prevent misfires, rough idling, and unnecessary sensor replacements. But wait until you see what number 11 can prevent. Number 11. Greasing the drive shaft slip yoke. If you hear a clunking sound from under your GMC truck when you accelerate or decelerate, the problem is usually a dry drive shaft slip yoke. Mechanics will diagnose this as a failing U-joint or drive shaft and charge you $300 to $600 for replacement. According to GM service manuals, the slip yoke requires periodic lubrication, yet most shops never mention this until something breaks. The slip yoke is where the drive shaft connects to the transmission. Over time, the grease inside dries out, causing the yoke to bind and clunk. Crawl under your truck, locate the slip yoke at the front of the drive shaft, and you will see a grease fitting. Use a grease gun to pump fresh grease into the fitting until you see old grease purge out. GM maintenance schedules recommend greasing driveline components every 20,000 to 30,000 miles, especially for trucks used for towing. This $5 fix takes 10 minutes and prevents clunking and extends the life of your driveline components. The next one is even more critical for 4WD truck owners. Number 10. Transfer case fluid service. If you own a 4WD GMC truck, your transfer case is one of the most neglected components, and mechanics rarely mention it until it fails. According to GM service data, transfer case rebuilds cost $2,000 to $3,500, and they are almost always preventable with a simple fluid change every 50,000 miles. Shops do not recommend this service because it is cheap and easy, which means low profit. The transfer case transfers power to all four wheels when you engage 4WD. The fluid inside lubricates the gears and prevents overheating. Over time, the fluid breaks down, especially if you use 4WD frequently or tow heavy loads. When the fluid fails, the gears grind, overheat, and eventually destroy themselves. Changing transfer case fluid is simple. Locate the drain and fill plugs on the transfer case housing. Remove the drain plug, let the old fluid drain, reinstall the drain plug, and refill through the fill hole with the correct fluid. GM recommends transfer case service every 50,000 miles for severe duty use, which includes towing and frequent 4WD operation. The job costs $30 in fluid and takes 20 minutes, but it can save you thousands in rebuild costs. And if you think transfer case failure is expensive, wait until number 9. Number 9. DIY brake pad replacement. Brake pad replacement is one of the most common services GMC owners pay for, and it is also one of the easiest jobs to do yourself. According to automotive service pricing data, shops charge $250 to $400 per axle for brake pads, but the pads themselves cost $40 to $80, and the job takes about an hour with basic tools. Jack up the truck, remove the wheel, and you will see the brake caliper. Remove the caliper bolts, slide the caliper off the rotor, and pull out the old pads. Install the new pads. Compress the caliper piston using a C-clamp. Reinstall the caliper and put the wheel back on. Repeat on the other side. GM service manuals provide detailed brake pad replacement procedures, and the job requires no special tools beyond what most DIYers already own. Learning to do your own brakes saves $200 to $300 per axle every time you need pads. Over the life of your truck, that adds up to thousands of dollars. But the savings on the next one are even better. Number 8. Cleaning mass airflow sensor. A dirty mass airflow sensor causes reduced fuel economy, poor acceleration, and rough idling. Mechanics will diagnose this as a failed sensor and sell you a replacement for $200 to $400. According to GM Technical Service Bulletins, MAF sensor contamination is a common issue that can often be resolved with cleaning rather than replacement. Locate the mass airflow sensor in the air intake between the air filter and the throttle body. Disconnect the electrical connector and remove the sensor. Spray MAF sensor cleaner on the delicate sensor elements inside. Do not touch them with anything. Just spray and let the cleaner evaporate. Reinstall the sensor. Reconnect the electrical connector and you are done. GM recommends inspecting and cleaning the MAF sensor during routine maintenance intervals. The sensor measures airflow into the engine, and even small amounts of contamination can cause the engine computer to miscalculate fuel delivery. Clean your MAF sensor every 30,000 to 50,000 miles with a $12 can of cleaner, and you will maintain optimal engine performance without wasting money on unnecessary replacements. And if poor fuel economy bothers you, number 7 is critical. Number 7. Using top-tier gasoline. Only GMC engines are tuned for detergent-rich fuels, and using cheap, low-quality gasoline is one of the fastest ways to destroy your fuel injectors. According to AAA fuel quality testing, top-tier certified gasolines contain detergent levels that are 2 to 3 times higher than EPA minimum requirements. Mechanics will never emphasize this because clogged injectors are a major profit center. Top-tier gasoline contains higher levels of detergents that keep your fuel system clean. Brands like Shell, Chevron, Mobil, and Exxon are top-tier certified. Independent laboratory testing has shown that top-tier fuels reduce intake valve deposits by up to 72% compared to non-top-tier fuels. The difference in price is usually 5 to 10 cents per gallon, which costs you about $1.50 per fill-up. Over a year, that is maybe $50 to $75 extra. But when your injectors clog and you need professional cleaning, you are paying $400 to $1,500. GM recommends using top-tier certified fuels to maintain optimal engine performance and fuel system cleanliness. Use top-tier gasoline in your GMC truck, and you will prevent injector clogging, improve fuel economy, and avoid thousands in fuel system repairs. But wait until you see what number 6 can prevent. Number 6. DIY key fob reprogramming. Lost or damaged. Key fobs are expensive to replace through a dealership. GMC dealers charge $200 to $400 for a new fob and programming. According to GM service documentation, most GMC key fobs can be programmed by owners using a simple sequence of ignition cycles and button presses. Sit in the driver's seat with all doors closed. Insert your existing working key and turn the ignition to the on position without starting the engine. Turn it back to off and remove the key. Repeat this cycle 3 times within 10 seconds. The door locks should cycle. indicating you are in programming mode. Press the lock and unlock buttons on your new fob simultaneously. The locks will cycle again, confirming the fob is programmed. GM owners' manuals include fob programming instructions for many model years. Look up the specific procedure for your truck, follow the steps, and you will save $200 to $400 in dealer programming fees. And the next trick can save you even more by preventing a major failure. Number 5. Cooling system bleed procedure. Air pockets in your cooling system cause overheating, and if left unchecked, they can lead to blown head gaskets costing $2,000 to $3,000 to repair. According to GM service bulletins, proper cooling system bleeding is critical after any coolant service to prevent airlock and overheating. After replacing coolant or doing any work on the cooling system, air can become trapped in the lines. Locate the bleed screw, usually on the thermostat housing or near the top of the radiator. With the engine cold, open the bleed screw slightly and add coolant to the reservoir. Start the engine and let it run until coolant flows steadily from the bleed screw with no air bubbles. Close the screw, top off the reservoir, and you are done. GM cooling system service procedures include specific bleeding instructions to ensure proper air removal. The procedure takes 10 minutes and can save you thousands in engine damage caused by overheating from trapped air. And if you think overheating is bad, number 4 will shock you. Number 4. Hidden tow haul mode benefits. Most GMC owners know that tow haul mode exists, but almost none of them understand what it actually does or how much money it can save them in transmission repairs. According to GM engineering documentation, tow haul mode reduces transmission operating temperatures by 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit under load. Tow haul mode changes the transmission's shift points and torque converter lockup strategy. It holds gears longer, uses engine braking more aggressively, and keeps the torque converter locked more often. This reduces heat buildup in the transmission, which according to transmission specialists is the #1 cause of automatic transmission failure. GM owners' manuals recommend activating tow haul mode anytime you are towing, hauling heavy loads, or driving in hilly terrain. Transmission fluid breaks down exponentially faster at elevated temperatures. Using tow haul mode properly can extend transmission life by 50,000 to 100,000 miles, and the next one can save you massive labor costs. Number 3. Fuel pump access panel hack. Replacing a fuel pump in most GMC trucks requires dropping the entire fuel tank, which according to automotive labor guides is a 4 to 6 hour job costing $500 to $800 just for labor alone. But on some GMC SUVs like the Yukon, Tahoe, and Suburban, GM included a hidden access panel under the rear seat that lets you replace the fuel pump without dropping the tank. Fold up the rear seat cushion, and you will see the carpet. Some models have a factory access panel already cut. On others, you need to carefully cut the carpet to create access. You will see a metal or plastic panel held in place by screws or clips. Remove the panel, and you have direct access to the top of the fuel pump assembly. GM service manuals for applicable models include instructions for using the access panel. This design feature saves 3 to 5 hours of labor, which translates to $500 to $800 in shop fees. Not all GMC trucks have this access panel, but if yours does, use it. And if you think that is a big savings, wait until you see number 2. Number 2. Transmission fluid change intervals. Your GMC's owner's manual probably says the transmission fluid is lifetime and does not need to be changed. That is one of the biggest lies in the automotive industry. According to independent transmission specialists and automotive engineers, the lifetime fluid designation is based on warranty period, not actual vehicle lifespan. Mechanics know this, but they will never tell you to change your fluid early because they make more money rebuilding your transmission at 150,000 miles than they do changing your fluid at 40,000 miles. According to transmission rebuilders and fleet maintenance data, GMC trucks benefit massively from transmission fluid changes every 30,000 to 40,000 miles, especially if you tow, haul, or drive in stop-and-go traffic. Transmission fluid breaks down over time. It loses its ability to lubricate, cool, and protect the internal components. Laboratory analysis of used transmission fluid shows significant degradation in additive packages and viscosity after 40,000 to 50,000 miles of severe duty use. When fluid degrades, your transmission starts slipping, shifting hard, or overheating. By the time you notice symptoms, you are looking at a $3,000 to $5,000 rebuild. Change your fluid regularly, and your transmission will outlast the rest of your truck. Number 1. Wheel bearing grease trick. This is the most dangerous and expensive problem on this list, and it is something mechanics will never warn you about until it is too late. Wheel bearing failure causes a roaring or grinding noise from the wheels, but if ignored, it can lead to complete hub assembly failure and wheel separation while driving. According to NHTSA safety data, wheel separation incidents can cause loss of vehicle control and serious accidents. Replacing a wheel bearing or hub assembly costs $400 to $800 per wheel, but the real cost is the safety risk. Older GMC models with serviceable wheel bearings can have those bearings repacked with grease to extend their life by 100,000 miles or more. According to GM maintenance schedules for trucks with serviceable bearings, inspection and repacking is recommended every 50,000 miles or when exposed to water crossings or severe conditions. If your GMC has serviceable wheel bearings, repack them with fresh grease every 50,000 miles. Remove the wheel. Pull off the brake rotor, remove the castle nut and cotter pin, and slide the hub off the spindle. Clean out the old grease, inspect the bearings for damage, pack them with fresh grease, and reassemble everything. These 17 tricks are not secret. They are just information that mechanics would rather you did not know, because every one of them cuts into their profit margin. According to automotive industry data, informed consumers who perform their own basic maintenance save an average of $800 to $1,500 annually, compared to those who rely entirely on shops. Your GMC truck is one of the most reliable vehicles you can own, but only if you maintain it properly using manufacturer-recommended procedures. Now you have that knowledge. Go through this list, figure out which tricks apply to your truck, and start doing this maintenance yourself. You will save thousands of dollars, extend the life of your truck, and never feel helpless at a repair shop again. Your truck will thank you, and your wallet will too.